Pedro, has it been a good week after that first home win?
A short one. I prefer the long ones because we have more time to work everything. So we just need to organize the things that we need to be more detail orientated on the progress that the team needs to go. It's important to win all the time, of course, but we still need to look in some points of the team for the team looks better on the game, control more the games, control more the moments of the game, and it's important to continue in that direction. So it was preferable to have more time to work.
How encouraged are you by the improvements that you're seeing game by game?
Totally, because we have a group of hard workers. We know that only that way we can give our answer game by game, and that's one of the points about the improvement. So now we need to be not only about the hard work, but the hard work on the direction those details are pointing to. So that's the importance now.
When you look at some of the new players that came in that are really starting to play, we've spoken about Alfredo Morelos, but particularly in Santi Daniel Candeias as well.
No, I think all of them need different time to get adapted. So it's different reality, different culture. Even me as an European is different. Live in a country like Portugal rather than live in the UK or live in Scotland is different. So imagine one guy that is from the other side of the world to get adapted to this culture, to this type of football, to the new methodology of training and everything. So all of them are different times to adapt, but now they are getting all together on the direction we want.
So is it different for you, or do you quite like the fact that your next two games are against the same opponent at the same ground?
No, I'm just here to speak about the next one. I cannot prepare two games at the same time, even if they are in the same opponent and on the same ground. For sure, they are going to be totally different matches. So one, we are fighting for 3 points, and we are going to be very concentrated to get those 3 points. And the other one is going to be the most important game of the season because it's a knockout game and give you a pass to the semi-final of one competition. So one at a time. Same stadium, same opponent, but totally different contests and different games for sure.
Pedro, you were talking about adapting. How have you adapted, and have you changed in any way with circumstances living and working in the UK and in Scotland? And do you feel that people are adapting to your methods and looking at different European ways of playing, of training, of learning from you?
Yeah, totally. I think that I was just taking the team picture, and after that, on my back and on my side were the new boys that were coming with us. So the last two they didn't complete yet 2 weeks being with us. So I need to know them better. They need to know me better. So you have that one example, and those two guys came from the UK. So you have this sort of situation. They are used, for example, to one pattern that is getting me difficult to understand, and maybe I don't want to understand it anymore. Why they have a break in the mid of the week on the pattern of the training session, and now they need to get adapt once again to a long week. So from Sunday to Sunday. So that's one thing. The other guys that came, for example, from Mexico, so they were adapted to a totally different situation, different scenarios. So it's very unusual for them, for example, to have to play all the time with the pitch wet. So that's one thing that gives you more pace of the game, for example, for them to understand. So because they play with the longer blocks and the blocks are spread, they have more time because they have more space. So it's another thing that they need to adapt. You have bring the family on and found one place to live, found one college to the kids. So know how the schedules are done here is another different adaptation. To get used to a different sort of food and nutrition is another adaptation. So you have a lot of things that you need to think, and you need to get it together in order for them to feel comfortable and can express the football they have, which we know it's very good.
You've been talking about there's been an improvement, that there's more hard work to be done. Lee Wallace was saying the same thing. Is that exciting that you're just starting to hit the ground running now and there's so much more improvement to come? Is that?
Yeah, it is. I think what really pleased me in this job and working in this massive club is that you don't have time to stop and think. You just need to keep analyzing the things, doing that hard work and winning at the same time. So that's the reason we are here. That's the reason we have this group of players, because they know and they are not satisfied after you win a game which you won 4-1, and I'm not totally happy. So that's the mentality we need to spread. We won, okay, 4-1, good result, good performance in some moments of the game, but we need to improve in some other moments. So that's the reality we need to face. And only thinking like this, you can grow as a team. I can grow as a coach, and they can grow as a players as well.
How beneficial do you think Carlos's goal at the weekend will be to him and his eventual aims of trying to break into the team and play more regularly?
If you had a look, we need to analyze the contest and the moments that Carlos get on the games, on the last two games. So when he get against Ross County, for example, we were winning. Yeah, we were winning. There was one team that was looking for the equalizer. So that means that we were finding more spaces. That space and time relation that I told you before, and for me, football is about time and space all the time. So when you are defending, you need to take it from the opponent, and you are attacking, you need to build it up for you to explore it. That time and space relation with Carlos still a little bit conditioned if the game is too overloaded in some moments and in some areas. So we are working that with him. That means that getting on the Ross County with more space, getting with Dundee with more space, he could feel free to perform his football. So now we are preparing him in order for him to understand that sometimes it might get on the game and the space is not there, so the time is not there. So that's one question that we need to go a little bit further, the next level, for him to get adapted or totally adapted for to perform with us in a regular basis, and of course with more time as well. So it's not I'm not talking about fitness. Fitness for me, as you realize, is always secondary. Is not the most important thing at all. But the decisions and understand the game and how the game is played here, and how we want to play the game is the most important thing. So Carlos is needing that, and we are working with him in that direction.
If it's not about fitness, could you quantify in terms of sharpness how sharp he is and how much he needs to go?
It's a question of understanding, as I told you, for example. So if you put more people here around me, so that means that we are sharing the same space, but because the space is overloaded, if I have one reaction, like for example, you're asking questions and I need to be quick, pushing one button rather than the others, so I'm being pressured by the time and the space. Okay, in the game happens the same. So that's what he needs to understand. To be surrounded for 4 players in 5 square meters, he needs to have that ball, not lose that ball, and turn and face the game, and get on the box facing the opponent's goal, which is what he's doing better. So we need to understand this from him, and that's what we are working with him.
Would you have expected him though to have adapted quicker, or is this just because, as you say, the transition
No.
coming from South America?
You need to see two different Mexican players. Carlos, on the last season, and let's not talk about the last season for Mexico because it's only the last 6 months. The last season, the last year, play less than, for example, Eduardo. And by play less, and by all the circumstances that normally the Mexican players live in those regular lives, the adaptation to come here cost us much more to Carlos than to Eduardo. And also the mindset that we know that we are creating now in Carlos, you don't need to do it with Herrera, because Herrera worked with us in one season, so he knows the matters, he knows how we think, and he knows all the reality that he's coming to face. So that adaptation takes also time. So to make one period in this point, I think that what is going to give him what he really needs is this specific work that we are doing, so as the rhythm of the match, by having minutes, by playing, not by training. The training is not going to improve him rather than this specific position or this specific situation, but the match will make the difference.
What do you make of Partick Thistle in the start that they've had? I mean, they got to the top 6 last year, but 1 point from the first 5 games. I mean, does that fool you in any way, the position they're on the league table?
I'm not looking on that situation. When I analyze the team, of course, we need to understand the moment that the teams are passing. But normally, I don't go to watch them on the position that they are on the table. To be honest and to be fair, just after our match, I didn't care about our position on the table. As long as you win on the match days, you know that your result is going to be the most important. So we play against them a couple of times next season. I went to watch them their first match. I went there to watch Hibs, but I watch also Partick. It's one team that is having a positive approach to the game. It's quite understandable the way, if you watch them in 2 or 3 matches like we did, you understand the ideas that Archibald is having for the team. So it's one team that is playing positive, as I told you. They have good players. They have, for example, they are too strong on the set pieces, and they have players that can decide one match. So we need to have that in consideration rather than the position or the start they have on the league, and showing all respect, total respect to the opponent. And the total respect we need to show, it's getting on the game with a total desire to win it and play it according the way we wanted to play it.
Last year you went to Firhill and there were scenes of jubilation at the end with a last-minute winner. How much has the team improved since last season?
It's a total different team. I mean, I cannot compare one team when we have too many different players. But if you give me one paper to sign below and say, "But you are going to celebrate in the same way," I don't care. We win the 3 points, and that's all about. That's what we are going there to do. But of course, as I told you, we are detail-orientated, and we want the team to show improvements on the inside of the team. I don't know if you are understanding what I'm saying. So that's important for us to win and show that improvement, that progress that we as a team want to show for us. So I think that's the most important thing, alongside with the 3 points.
Morelos has been in some good goal scoring form. How happy are you with his contribution?
I'm happy with all the players. They are doing a fantastic job. So Morelos is another one that we know that is a powerful player. If we have a chance on the last 30 meters, even if he's on the corner flag, he will try to shoot on goal, and we will do it powerfully. But now we understand also the details orientation, how to make the definition when the things are getting on the side of the quality to take decisions. So that's a step further for him to understand that as well.
What's latest in the friendly game against Benfica?
So it took place on the 6th of October, on the international break, and we are very pleased to be there. It's a great cup. A lot of fantastic teams from Real Madrid to Arsenal, from Inter Milan, from Milan have passing there and played that cup with Benfica. I think it's the 10th edition from the cup. It's the second time that is going to play it abroad, not in the Stadium of Light by translating by the words. So we are pleased to play with Benfica in that international break and give also that experience, international experience, to our players, because we want them to get used to do it as well.
Is it important to you to have these type of games to sort of raise the profile of the club up after a difficult few years? Is it important to have these type of fixtures again?
I think for any special reason we were invited, not only because I'm a Portuguese coach and we have four Portuguese players and some sort of connection with Benfica, for the 3 players coming from there. Yeah, I think it's important for us to be back in this track, to have this experience, and next season we hope to do it different in Europe, and this experience help us, of course, in that direction as well.
Team use any injuries, fresh or other ones?
No, not at the moment. We hope not to have a clean sheet regarding to it.